It's Friday at 4 o'clock. It's FOIA Friday.
Freedom of Information.
My Freedom of Information Act. Here we go. You know, the song gets me going each time, Crystal.
Friday.
This is FOIA Friday at 4 o'clock on a Friday. And my name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm here with the illustrious Dr. Crystal Heath. She's a veterinarian that saves animals for a living. What have you been doing lately? We're going to go into how we're using our Freedom of Information Act permissions or rights as citizens to uncover truths, dirt, and corruption in the animal food industry. How you doing today, Dr. Heath?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm top of the there's this famous quote. I hate to break this. I hate to do this, but there's this thing I used to always say that on Fortune's cap, I am not its very button, which is a Hamlet. When Hamlet asks his friends how they're doing, that's what they say. I always thought that was so funny. On Fortune's cap, I am not its very button.
Wow, what does that mean?
Well, if Fortune, a person, were wearing a cap, on caps there's a little button on the top, and that would be the tippity toppity, right? And so, and Hamlet answers something like, "Oh, so you're around the middling area," or something like. I forget how he turns it into some kind of body humor, but I like the. On Fortune's cap, I am not its very button. We are neither of we're not the greatest, but we're doing fine. We are as all the indifferent children of the earth. We carry on.
That's good. Yeah.
Although we aren't the indifferent children of the earth, we're doing stuff. I'm trying to implore people to go to Governor Gavin Newsom and tell him to sign one thing and veto another thing. Do you know what we're signing and vetoing?
For people. We are signing the declaw ban. Yay, we finally almost passed the declaw ban in California after 20 years or something like that.
Yes.
The CVA, the California Veterinary Medical Association, finally got out of the veterinarians' way and allowed veterinarians to finally pass the ban on declawing to protect veterinarians, cats, and our clients. And now
it's a huge deal.
Yeah,
right. So it passed the assembly, it passed the Senate, and now it's on the governor's desk. And by October 12th, he's supposed to sign it, or hopefully he'll sign it.
Yeah, and we just want to, send him a note. Please sign this. Obviously, super important. I think he probably will, but the more encouragement we can give him, the better. So
we can't leave that up for grabs. Now, there's a way to contact the governor I want to get into, but there's another. This is where it gets a little hairy for people, all right? But there's another one that I think is equally and even maybe more important, because another bill passed the Senate and the Assembly, and it's sliding onto Governor Newsom's desk, and it is AB 867, the Cattle Act. Now,
you got that wrong. It's
AB
411 is
411. 867's declaw. You see, even I'm messing it up. 867's declaw. 411 is the Cattle Act.
Yes.
Okay, so AB 411 Cattle Act. Tell us about it and why we need to. What's going on there?
Our Honor is the only group that I'm aware of who is talking about this, other than the Rendering Association. So it's weird. We're on the same side as the Rendering group. But that's where things are right now. And so AB 411 allows producers to compost mammals on their properties. This previously was not allowed because of fear of disease transmission, for fear that nitrates would leach into our Central Valley aquifer that is already in a dangerous state and lead to worsening environmental contamination. And the cattle producers have been pushing this because more and more cows are dying on cattle facilities and dairies,
Mhm.
especially with the recent heat waves. They've previously had to have emergency declarations and get special permission to compost dead on their property. But now with the Cattle Act, it would just allow them to compost dead animals on the property. And there's like no system in place to check these compost piles and make sure they're
No,
doing
who's
it
gonna look at
correctly.
that? Who's gonna
And
monitor this? This is ridiculous, yeah.
and how are they going to tell? Like, they're not supposed to be composting diseased animals like H5N1 diseased cows carcasses, but who's to stop them from doing that?
Yeah,
So
the
this is
honor
very
system.
concerning. And
Because the animal protein industry has been so great with the honor system historically.
yeah, and so we are urging the governor to veto this bill. Do not sign it. It's going to
Right.
be worsening environmental contamination. Right now, the Central Valley is sinking because of the damage to the aquifer. It's not recharging with water. So it's more likely to flood. Can you just imagine what will happen if we had the floods like we had in 2023 with a whole bunch of compost piles? We're going to have bodies floating around everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if one
A
year
disaster.
tens of thousands of animals can die, it's a total disaster. And you've got tens of thousands of animals in the ground after 1 year, and then there's a flood, that could be really bad. Or just, even if there isn't a flood, it's bad. Lots of methane is being released because of animals and anaerobic decomposition, and all sorts of bad stuff can happen. That's why up until now, it's been illegal to do that, but
Yeah.
now they want to. So I wanted to just walk everybody through this. Is kind of our procedural show on how to get people to do stuff for to affect change, right? I want to share this. This is our governor. This is just gov.ca.gov. Gov.ca.gov. It's a real easy one to remember. gov.ca.gov. Now you hit contact right here. When you hit contact, you come here. Best method. Oh, look at that. Here's the best method right here. And it just lets you know the easiest way to get in contact. Select a topic, an active bill, because both of these are still active. The bill, let's do 411 first, which is the Cattle Act we were just talking about. I'm going to go down to 411. I'm going to select it from this drop-down menu. And here it is, the Livestock Carcasses Disposal Composting. I can leave a comment, which I think is great, because then I could say, okay, it's an active bill right there. Message. I implore you to veto this bill in order to safeguard California water, California aquifers.
Yeah.
Aquifers. Okay, I just did it really simple, but on ourhonor.org, we also have sample emails that you can just copy and paste in here. They're way bigger, but you have 6,000 characters to work with here. I've actually already done this, so I'm not going to go and do the full thing, but I'm also going to click con. That's super important, all right? What is your stance on this topic? I'm clicking con because 411, I want him to veto. And I hit next, and I am done. That's it. I could put my name and everything in here, but I don't have to, but I can, and I'm going to not on live streaming. The same thing, I could just do it again for the other one, which is I'm going to go to the active bill. I'm going to select 867-530-9. That's a famous song. Maybe you've heard. Did you ever hear that song before?
I have. I know
867-530. Okay.
6-7 is a big thing right now with the kids these days.
It is?
Yeah, it's a meme. It's a thing. Everybody, it's just like a kind of a gibberish thing. They freak out whenever you say 6-7.
Oh, I didn't know. Is that a skibbity thing or something?
Yeah. You gotta see, it's, I think, something sports ball related. Some sports ball person said something, and then they've just been repeating it over and over again. 6-7.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay, so
Kids
cat
in the chat,
declawing.
tell us what 7 means.
867. So here I'm going to say pro. Please, Pat, please sign this much needed protection for cats. It's that simple. I'm going to hit next. And when you do, you can fill out your name and address so that he knows you're from California. That's all you have to do.
Yep.
It's simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Please take the few minutes to go and do that. Rami Rurone, Tommy Two-Tone, is that who it is?
No,
I don't know
I
what
have
that
no
is.
idea I don't know what that means. So
Libertarian says new scum sucks. Well, Libertarian, you don't have to like the governor to contact the governor. We're asking you to participate in the
let's not
this thing.
elevate people calling people names. That's not cool. That's not our
You're right.
culture. And so let's not draw attention to bad behavior. So
okay, I wanted to encourage people to take part in the democratic process and that's how you do it. I just want people's voices to be heard with the government.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you're good at pulling up video, and I think there's a video attached to this first link that I shared. And this is basically central, what's it called? Cold Spring Egg Farm in Wisconsin. 3 million birds just depopulated their birds due to bird flu. And this facility was depopulated previously. We gave them $14 million of our taxpayer money to bail them out after they exterminated their birds due to bird flu. Last time they used Ventilation Shutdown Plus, where they sealed up the barns, pumped in heat, and waited for the birds inside to die. Who knows what method they'll use this time. I plan to file some FOIA documents of Wisconsin Department of Agriculture to see what I can get related to this. But there's a news story that came out recently about this whole fiasco, and they the mayors, the neighbors of this city aren't too happy with the situation. Residents near Palmyra are preparing for the smell and disruption of millions of dead chickens being dumped in their neighborhood for the second time in 3 years after bird flu struck a Jefferson County poultry operation. And this Jefferson County poultry operation is Cold Spring Egg Farm. And they got $14 million last time. Since Trump raised the amount that egg producers will get when their birds are killed due to bird flu, now they're expected to get around $35 million. So yeah, the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection confirmed a case of bird flu. So we will be FOIA-ing them for sure. The birds will be dumped at the same location near Zion and Hooper Road, where millions of infected birds were disposed of in 2022. Yes, let's play that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I lost you for a second. Are you cool with me playing this?
Yes, absolutely. Just let's onward.
Chris, all right.
Can you not hear me now?
Sorry. All right, let's go.
Sitting in your kitchen
for a second I couldn't, but you're back now. Are we ready? Give me a check. Mic 2.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yes, play it.
Yes, I can. Okay, great.
Okay.
Meat sitting in your kitchen for months.
And she contacted us at TMJ4 when she heard more were coming in the next few days after over 3 million chickens got sick in Jefferson County.
The stench that comes from it is disgusting. There's no explanation for it other than that.
Neighbors tell me this is where millions of sick chickens could be dumped just like the last time. I called the town chair and he tells me that the hauling and dumping of the dead chickens could begin on Saturday.
Does it bother you that another farm's problem is kind of becoming your problem?
Yes. And I mean, I love farmers and everything they do for us, but their biosecurity has to be improved somehow. because this can't keep happening.
The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection alerted residents today that there was a case of the bird flu in a commercial poultry flock in Jefferson County.
It'd be great if you could not put your dead chickens in my backyard.
David Halser's
Yeah.
farm backs up to the land where the chickens will be dumped again.
The last time it happened, there was dump trucks from 6 in the morning till almost 6:30, 8 o'clock at night. Hundreds of them.
Every day.
Every day. For weeks.
The fact that it's happening again is worrisome for the local farmer.
How often it's happening is a worry, right? If it's going to be every 4 years, that's a problem.
Now the neighbors are searching for another solution.
We wish they would go somewhere
Is that a pile of dead chickens?
I think so. Yeah.
further out or incinerate them because the smell is just unforgiving.
In Palmyra, Megan Lee, TMJ.
So immediately I wonder, the whole thing about, I love farmers and what they do for us. My goodness, golly.
That's a stopping cliche. That's a cult
Yes.
telling you have to say this.
Yes,
This
that's what it is.
Do we not realize how many cult things are happening in our world?
Yes.
We feel compelled to like say, no, we love farmers, but
Yes, that's how
Yeah.
I notice it all the time, you know, I see it all the time in politics. I see people go like, I'm not saying that I'm criticizing XYZ. I'm just saying that maybe we should have this file open. Like we keep on hearing like, I'm not criticizing the administration. Don't call me that. It's so weird.
yeah.
So like I'm not saying that I don't love farmers. I love them by golly, but
Mhm.
their biosecurity standards
you-
might need to be up.
all those people who say they love farmers, have you ever met a animal-based protein producer? Honestly, most of them are psychopaths. Like,
Yes.
can we just honestly talk about it? Like, have you ever gone by a farm and just walked around, not trespassing, just walked near it, maybe with your
Mhm.
camera taking pictures of wildlife in the area? Do it. And then you will see the vast majority of your interactions with those farmers will be not normal, friendly interactions with your local. Like,
Yeah.
just you have to interact with these people to know that they are psychopaths. Just like any organization, you might be totally, oh yeah, they seem like a great organization. Start questioning them. Start,
Mhm.
asking questions, and then you'll see who they really are. Start
Yeah.
challenging. Then
Totally.
you see what the real thing is. What the real deal
Absolutely.
is.
It's like when everyone loves Disney and then Walt Disney Company tries to get away with murdering somebody by saying that they signed an agreement on their Disney Plus trial subscription. Do you remember that? People forget this, but Disney murdered somebody and
Did
then
they?
tried negligence.
Disney,
It wasn't like
Disney
they
murdered
agreed.
a guy. What happened?
Mhm. Murdered a woman, and then
Who did they murder? Now we're just spreading. We're gonna get sued so much.
no, we're
so
not.
bad.
No, we're not. It was a huge Disney negligence, Disney Plus defense.
How did they murder this woman?
She died on at one of the parks, I think.
She died from
The negligence lawsuit was Dr. Kanakpur died from a severe allergic reaction at the Wrangling Road Irish Pub restaurant on Disney property in Orlando, Florida. Her husband, Jeffrey Piccolo, filed a wrongful death negligence lawsuit against Disney and the restaurant in 2024, alleging the staff failed to properly accommodate his wife's food allergies, which so they kind of and they sort of admit to it. But Disney then filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, arguing that the dispute must be settled through arbitration and not in court because the terms of service that he had agreed to during his Disney Plus free trial in 2019, 5 years before the incident. 4
Anyway,
years
wow.
before the incident. So that's psychopathic stuff. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What I mean to say is like you think Disney's like, oh, they're good. They care about people and they're good. But no, they're psychopaths too. If you go high up, those people at the top. And when we say farmers, we are talking about the owners, right? We're not talking about
No, we're
the
not talking,
field hand.
obviously. We're not talking
Right.
about slaughterhouse workers.
Workers.
We're not
Yeah.
talking about the laborers. We're talking
Yeah.
about the executives, the people who own the properties usually.
Right. Just like I'm not
Sometimes.
talking about
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the restaurant worker, the dishwasher, the waiter that day. I'm talking about the corporate bosses who thought it
And
would
it's
be a good idea to try to get away with this.
Yeah, and it's literally like a system that incentivizes sociopathy, because then they're, you
Yeah.
know, my interactions mostly have been with workers who are, you know, told, hey, go harass this person. Like that one woman who comes up to me outside of Central Valley Eggs and is like, I'm going to ask you to leave. You're not allowed to do that. And I'm like, actually, I'm well within my rights to be filming here. And then she's got nothing to say, but she's, you know, being told that she has to act like a psychopath in
Right.
situation to somebody who's totally following the law and well within their rights to be where they are on public property doing what they're doing. So it's a system that incentivizes sociopathy, and that's the whole point that I'm trying to get at here.
I mean, I would argue that the structure of corporations incentivizes sociopathy as well. But the fact that not only are these businesses, I think, structured as such, but also they're engaged in activities that are psychopathic. I mean, they're selling animal flesh. They're propagating animals so they can sell their flesh.
Yeah.
And, anyway,
you know that a lot of structures under capitalism incentivize sociopathy, and we see this in the nonprofit world as well.
Sure, because they're structured similarly.
The most psychopathic, sociopathic nonprofit organizations are the ones that end up getting the most donors and most funding and do the most atrocious things, including in the animal protection movement. So
sure, because a lot of times in the short term, they seem the most efficient because they're like dictatorial, right? And that seems efficient at first in a lot of ways.
Squash anyone who's a whistleblower and squash anybody who voices concerns about their behavior, silences them, threatens them with lawsuits, all of the things.
Right, but the difference here is that these companies, the ones that are engaged in exploiting animals, when they do F up, and they always do, like anybody, they make mistakes, and they make, I think, foreseeable mistakes, but they know that we, the taxpayer, are going to pick up the bill and pay
them
off.
out. They have so much more money than we do. But it's also just creates this system where, okay, the animal protection movement, who's trying to fight them, then also engages in sociopathic behavior in order to try to fight them. When fighting the monster, be careful not to become the monster. And we see many animal protection organizations doing that and becoming that and retaliating against fellow activists. And that's a problem. And all those activists out there who have been retaliated against by animal advocacy orgs, we see you. And share your stories. It's really
share
important.
Your stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't be silenced. That's for sure. We've seen, I think, the last couple of weeks how being silenced doesn't help anybody. How allowing yourself to be silenced doesn't help anyone.
No. And it hurts yourself. Like there's studies now that you will suffer health-wise from staying silent. So don't stay silent. Tell your stories, and it's worth it to tell your stories and find your tribe and people who, not your tribe, because that's white supremacist or something. I'm not supposed to say that. Find your people.
Your niche is niche. Eurocentric. I don't know. I don't want to step on any. I'm kind of. It's funny because some of the word police stuff kind of gets to me. I find it annoying, and then people like, oh, you must be conservative. No, I'm not conservative. I just get annoyed that like every word I have to be so neurotic about at this point. But
it's you have to view it both ways. It's cults police your language, so that's a problem. But we also, the system as a whole, uses language as a way to create reality in order to break out of the white supremacist, patriarchal, capitalist society that we live in. We have to break free of those words that they have indoctrinated into us that create this bounded reality that we currently live in. So I see both ways.
I do, but we also have to share reality, right? But I think we all agree, though, under no circumstances should we be dumping millions of dead chicken bodies on property next to anyone. We shouldn't have. First of all, we shouldn't have millions of dead chicken bodies, and we shouldn't be dumping them every 4 years next to this dude's house.
But that's the reality we live in, and it should be dumped next to the CEO of Spring Farms house
in his backyard. He should have to bury him back there.
In his backyard, not in the poor neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, but I think it's funny that while they see this, they go, "Wow, this is too much! I can't believe all these chickens are dying of bird flu. Wow, they've got to get their biosecurity standards up to snuff." I do love the farmers, though. Let's just make sure everyone knows that. Make sure you put that. That's weird, right? I think it's weird. Yeah.
Anyway, now we're like half an hour into this thing, and let's get to the FOIA stuff.
Let's do the FOIA stuff.
I tried to join this Crim-Epi course that was put on in conjunction with USDA-APHIS and the FBI, held in Arlington, Virginia. And I was rejected from this course. So I wanted to find out what they were saying about me. They gave the excuse that it was already full, but I have reason to believe that maybe that's not true. And because, as you know, like the DSMOG just did an article about the Animal Agriculture Alliance talking to the FBI and smearing our group, Our Honor. So did that have anything to do with why I was rejected from this FBI talk? So I did a FOIA request of the FBI, and I'm not holding my breath, honestly, because I talked to another attorney who said they had FOIA'd the FBI 2 years ago, and they're still waiting for their response. But it is
still got to do it. I don't know. You know, I feel that way when I wasn't going to FOIA the president. I still did it because you know what? I still want to do it. Sometimes the exercise is what's important. The anesthetic, what do you call it? The calisthenics, not the the calisthenics. Do it. Exercise your rights. I don't want people to get poo-pooed. I don't want people to feel like, oh, well, I never get any. Because you know what? You have to be resilient. And I say, if it comes down between doing it and not doing it, do it.
And be able to tell your story of like, I FOIA'd and I got nothing. I have back, and this is
FOIA the president.
We have this freedom of information, but we're not doing it.
Nothing.
We're not getting it. So what did I ask for? I asked for all records on the Animal Plant Joint Criminal-Epidemiological Investigations course held at Northeastern University in Arlington, Virginia, September 16th through 18th, 2025. This includes agendas, rosters, invitations, slides, handouts, training manuals, after action debrief notes, and any contracts, MOUs with Northeastern University or other partners. Please search offices in planning or delivery, WMDD, OPE, training division, field offices. Emails January 1st through September 21st, 2025. All emails, correspondence, and attachments sent to and from, and I had 4 FBI email addresses who were people involved in the planning of this that I used. And I asked for any emails that mentioned animal rights, vegan, H5N1, or Crystal Heath, or Our Honor, or the Animal Agriculture Alliance, as well as attachments, basic metadata to, from, CC, BBC, subject, etc. And I asked for these in PDF format. I gave my fee waiver, which is disclosure is in the public interest. I am an investigative veterinarian and writer who disseminates findings widely. I have no commercial interests. Please waive all fees or classify me as a news media requester. If fees exceed $50, contact me before processing. And then this request involves urgent public interest in FBI training, intersecting with public health and First Amendment protected communities, animal rights, vegan. Please expedite under DOJ regs. I don't expect them to expedite it, but whatever. So yeah, that's what I did. FOIA the FBI this week.
FOIA the FBI. Sure. Why not? I want to FOIA the FBI to find out. Never mind. The FBI. I think the FBI is such a funny organization these days. I feel like they have about as much credibility these days that I don't think they've ever been quite so low. I don't think they've been quite so disrespected.
Yeah. I used to think, oh, there's a whole bunch of Mulder and Scullys at the FBI.
Yeah.
The X-Files was like the biggest FBI propaganda
Yeah.
machine.
When the FBI came out, I wanted to
ironically.
I wanted to join the FBI. I was like, man, I want to get a degree and I'm going to join the FBI. I'm going to solve crimes. And
Yeah.
then it's
Then you learn the FBI just simps for the people who are committing the crimes, the worst crimes,
the
the
worst ones.
corporations. Who
Mhm.
is fighting these billion-dollar corporations? Instead they're just going after small people and activists, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there was an FBI leak this week about how Tom Homan took a bag from FBI undercover officers of $50,000 and during their sting operation, and one ICE officer's in jail right now, and Tom Homan is implicated, and he's on tape accepting it, and the DOJ just squashed that prosecution, just squashed that case. Like they're not moving forward, and I'm going, oh, so that's just that, no big deal, huh? We're just not going to look into that, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
That works just fine. I would love to FOIA. And the first thing I thought, I should FOIA anything related to this, but I'm sure there's a million people FOIAing, and they're not getting anything. They're not going to get any of it.
Yeah. Well, you never. It's amazing how few people FOIA the right things. It seems like I'm the only one out there doing all the FOIAing sometimes, and I wish more people would join us and get some of this interesting stuff.
You do find some interesting stuff out.
So I also, back in 2023, I filed this FOIA request with USDA-APHIS. I said, on behalf of our honor, I'm requesting any indemnity requests, HPAI monitoring, depopulation reports, euthanasia inspection reports to or from Beth Thompson at state.sd.us, or Beth Thompson, who is the state vet of a bunch of different states, actually, dated between October 1st, 2023 and November 24th, 2023. So here we have one email address
for
in
1 month,
a
basically.
2-month period of
2
time.
months.
And I just got this back nearly 2 years later. And I got back 494 pages of documents. And most of it's redacted. And it's all like stuff I've gotten from in the past, like Minnesota has sent me this sort of stuff. And let me see if I can share what it is. It's all of these, it's all of these like depopulation reports, where it usually lists the method of depopulation, how long. Is this the right one? Let me see. I don't know why. Oh, here how do I remove your thing?
I'll do it. Let me try for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now I want to go over to this part. Okay.
There you go.
So here's these depopulation reports. It gives the premise ID number, South Dakota, Spink County. I don't get to see the reason for testing. I don't get to see the clinical signs present, date of onset, populations involved, etc.
So it took them 2 years basically to redact everything is what actually happened.
Please list all current test results available for this premises, include date and location of testing. All redacted. The sexes of birds, ages of birds, price per bird, nothing. The premises within these distances, all redacted. The total number in each of these barns, redacted. Depopulation method, redacted. Timeline redacted. Disposal method, redacted. Timeline redacted. Like virus elimination information redacted. And there's just, it's so frustrating. So
what's frustrating too is that the amount of time that went into redacting it is, I think monumental, considering how many things they redacted in 500 pages. And what would be the point of all this redaction? Who are they trying? And also, I want to know who decides who to redact all that.
Exactly.
Decision maker? Who's like, no, she's allowed to know all this, but not this, not why we did it or how we did it.
Yeah. Not the testing involved, not the depopulation methods, which I can well, I haven't, APHIS used to give us once a month the spreadsheet with the depopulation methods and the indemnity payment data, and you could match it to the companies. And now they're not doing that anymore. It's been months since I've gotten that spreadsheet, and I gotta maybe keep bugging them again for that, but it's so ridiculous.
Think it'll work?
Eventually, but I think they do this so that it's not newsworthy.
That's exactly.
It
It's not newsworthy because it happened 2 years ago now,
because
right?
it's like old news and stuff like that. Yeah, it's so frustrating. But I am going to be filing a appeal for this. So, and what I'm going to ask is, I am submitting this administrative appeal under the Freedom of Information Act regarding APHIS's final response to my request. In your response, APHIS withheld the overwhelming majority of responsive information under FOIA exemptions 3 and 6. Specifically, APHIS redacted depopulation methods, reasons for testing, observed clinical signs, number of birds, timelines of events, and carcass disposal methods. These redactions frustrate the purpose of FOIA, which is to allow the public to evaluate government performance, not to shield agency actions from accountability. Section 1619 is meant to protect proprietary producer information and geospatial land data. It does not compel withholding of government-generated data about how APHIS itself carries out disease response, nor does it shield information about depopulation methods, timelines, or the number of animals killed. Those are agency decisions, not producer information. Courts have consistently limited the scope of Exemption 3 when agencies attempt to stretch it beyond Congress's intent. Here, the withheld information directly concerns government operations during an HPAI response, which is exactly the type of information FOIA was designed to make public. And I got some feedback from an attorney on my potential appeal letter. And they said, basically, I'm not entirely sure the statute is limited to geospatial information. That is part of it. But the other subsections, including the ones they rely on, seem more broad than that. That said, no harm including it. The biggest thing that sticks out to me in this exemption is when they say we are withholding information provided by agriculture producers concerning their agricultural land or operations, and any information gathered or observed by the USDA or cooperators while on the property of an agricultural producer. I don't see anything in the statute that allows them to withhold info gathered by the USDA. This is about producer provided information. Your briefly mentions this, but I would call that out more directly and hammer it a bit. So I'll be adding to that. And then it also says Exemption 6 protects against clearly unwarranted invasions of personal privacy. However, the redactions at issue concern depopulation methods, clinical findings, and disposal practices, not personal information. The agency's explanation conflates identifying details, which may be appropriate for redaction, with operational data, which clearly is not. Releasing the latter sheds substantial light on government performance during a major animal health emergency, which strongly outweighs any minimal privacy interests. And then foreseeable harm standard, FOIA requires that agencies show not just that an exemption could apply, but that disclosure would foreseeably harm an interest protected by that exemption. APHIS has not explained how disclosure of depopulation methods, bird counts, or disposal practices would cause such harm. On the contrary, withholding this information undermines public confidence in APHIS's disease response and hinders informed public debate on animal health, public health, and pandemic prevention. So
who do they work for? Who do they work for? Us or these corporations?
And we are paying for this.
Yes.
So
we're paying for this. We pay the bills.
Depopulation methods used, reasons for testing and observed clinical signs, number of birds affected, timelines of disease response and depopulation carcass disposal methods. At a minimum, I ask APHIS provide a more detailed Vaughan index describing with specificity what was withheld under which exemption and why disclosure would cause foreseeable harm. Thank you for your consideration. So hopefully that will give me the information that I need.
In 2 years.
Yeah, we'll see. It's frustrating for sure.
I just don't understand how these government, like, this is the problem, man. You know, part of me wants to believe that if you work inside the government, you at least, there must be some people who believe in all of that. You know how when our friend Andre or Dre, he was telling us how in his time in the service, like a lot of the people, a lot of the enlisted men, they might be conservative, they might have different ideas, but the top brass and all those guys up there that he meets, they really believe in the Constitution and saving the people, and they believe in all that good old-fashioned American stuff, you know. And I wonder, where is that kind of, do none of these people have any of that old school patriotism? Like, this is the right of the people. I don't work for the corporations. I work for the American people. They say that when they're arguing on C-SPAN, you know, the people of New Jersey tell me when my time is up. You know, they say that stuff, but are they even working for the people at all anymore?
Yeah, no, they're just working for the corporations. And protecting corporate interests.
And that's fascism. Like, that's what when fascists invite the industrialists to the table and they start changing money, when money starts changing hands like that, the people are left out in the cold. And I think this is evidence of that. Yep.
I also got livestock indemnity payment data so I filed this FOIA request. Basically, let's see if I can pull this up. Let me show you my...
Yeah, here we go.
Here. Okay, perfect. So, and this is a prolonged back and forth. And they asked, they said, you know, we were able to pull the name, address, and payments for LAP payment recipients. However, we were unable to associate them with losses due to either extreme heat or extreme stress. We are able to pull a separate data set by cause of livestock deaths, though this has been aggregated by state. Do you want us to call? Yeah, sure. And I just would say sure to everything that they say. Yes, give me that. Give me the information.
Please. Yeah.
And so let's see if I can pull up.
Yes, please.
I made this little blog post about it. Let's see if I can pull this up here. So we got livestock indemnity payments data, made a little blog about it because Trump just spoke in front of the UN saying that radicalized environmentalists want to kill all the cows and that climate change isn't real and all of this stuff. But meanwhile, the USDA is giving millions in payouts to livestock deaths attributed to extreme heat, storms, and other climate-driven causes, including predation. It's not all just climate-driven. And from these data, we saw that in 2024, they gave $1.7 million, which honestly is kind of small potatoes. Like we're talking when these producers are given billions of dollars for other things, but nevertheless, we got the information. We're proud of it.
Yeah,
listed some of the payments here, and then there's.
Let me ask you just to back up a little bit, because I know everyone saw Trump at the UN say that climate change isn't real. He says the same stuff he's been saying for a while now.
Yeah,
he used to be all about the climate change. Now he hates climate change, doesn't think it's real, and that everyone's a mess, and that there's no wind. I mean, I watched that speech and I was embarrassed for just the world, not just America, but. It's funny to say that there's no climate change, but we keep on shelling all this money out to bail out animal farmers, animal producers who are losing animals because of climate change. And you said something about predation there. Does screwworm count as predation? Because you said that might not be climate related, but I think that there's a case to say that predation in many ways is climate related.
Yeah, you could make a roundabout argument. Mostly predation are animals that are endangered species that producers can't kill. And so and they're predating on these animals. So if you have like bald eagles, like chewing out the eyeballs of baby calves,
Calves or something. Yeah.
that is
Well, bald
usually
eagle could take a
predation.
baby calf. I mean, a condor
Yeah.
or a vulture can take a calf. They're small enough.
Exactly. So that's what we're talking about. I don't think screwworm is not protected, but I'm sure there might be like ELAP payments or something, like emergency livestock payments, something else that might come about from screwworm. But I don't know if you can see this. This is one of the spreadsheets that I got. So it lists everything by state, the number of animals that died through each of these things. It would be great if there was some sort of data person. Like this is pretty much middle school stuff of making charts from how many animals were killed from each of the things. Might be interesting charts by year. Put together some nice data that people can look at and visualize, and it'd be fun. It'd be a good little project for somebody. So
I like doing stuff
think
like
that would
that.
be
I like
fun.
taking spreadsheets and turn them into graphs. If the data's clean, it's really easy.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, I mean, it is weird because we're just getting conflicting. Where's that leave the public? If we're gonna be, these are how many animals are dying because of climate change. Climate change doesn't exist. This is the world I'm living in, where we have to,
Exactly. If climate change doesn't exist, let's stop bailing out producers for
stop
their
bailing them out
losses due to adverse weather events. But of course, they'll say like adverse weather events happen. It doesn't mean that.
That's
blah,
a cycle
blah,
that has
blah.
nothing to do with. But
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, it's not about whether or not it's man-made. It's about whether or not it's happening, and it's happening. Like climate change is real. You can argue about whether it's man-made. I think that's a fool's errand, but people want to argue about that. Fine, I don't care. We need to do stuff to make the air cleaner. Yeah. Do you police people's words when they say it, Crystal?
Sometimes when I'm feeling, bitchy or something.
When you're feeling animal rightsy, when you're feeling.
Let me see if I want to show you one more. Let's see if this will work. Can you see this? Does this show? So this sheet was interesting because you can see the names of who got the payments. So here you got Kings County, Merced County, Tulare County, Golden Star Dairy, Matos Dairy, Rainamaid Dairy. Lots of dairy is getting these payments. I don't know what for. We can't link the reasons with the payments, but they got, quite a lot of money. This one got $350,000 livestock indemnity payments programs. And then you can go by year and see each year how much each got. A lot of Butte County, James Schroeder, he got Chico. I wonder if that was fire related. What happened back in 2022. I'm surprised 2023 there were lots of floods, and I don't see a whole lot of here's Fresno, but I don't see a lot of Tulare was where the big floods were in 2023, and there was not a lot of indemnity payment data for that. Nothing in 2022 for California. 2021, which is only one in California. 2020, let's see, nothing in California. 2019, we had Chowchilla area. I wonder what happened there. Are these dairies? Yeah, lots of dairies. Hanson and Sons Dairy, California Dreamin' Dairy, Carderas Brothers Dairy. Dairies are costing us a lot of money, that's for sure.
They're costing us all this money. I mean, at some point, don't we need to say none of it? Just no subsidy of any agriculture. I mean, is there any argument for it anymore? Is it really ensuring food security? I don't think it's doing that. It's not lowering prices. It's not mitigating market failures. It's not doing anything that their subsidies traditionally have been called on to do,
Yep. So let's see what else do we got here? I lost my sheet that I was working on.
What do you mean?
I lost my notes, my
Oh.
page with my notes.
Your
So
next. The last thing I have is FOIA in the works.
What's in the works?
The works
Tell us
is
about it.
you're requesting you're requesting these records be mailed.
Oh,
What are
okay.
you asking for? I'm writing to request all communication from January 1st, 2023 to present referencing Dave Call and or who are you FOIAing here?
These are members of the pork board. Dave Call. So Dave Call was a guy who is a Sonoma County investigator who was spying on my LinkedIn profile, and I just want to find out what's going on there.
And sulfuryl fluoride, AVMA BOD, humane slaughter, and or panel or depopulation. I like it.
Yeah, VSD, animal rights, our honor, Crystal Heath. 12007 Bacon Act, FBI, made by all of these key people at the pork board. See what they're talking about. The one thing I'm guessing now is that the pork board people no longer communicate much via email because they don't want their emails
they're getting
subject to
sneakier.
FOIA. So I've been having a harder time getting stuff from
They're
them.
using burner phones.
Yeah.
The government's operating in the shadows again because of you. You've driven them back into the darkness.
But let's who wants to join our FOIA team? And if you're too scared to FOIA, I don't know why you are, or if you don't have time, then donate to us and help us.
We have matching donors.
Yeah, exactly. Matching donors up to $25,000 for the end of the year. So please, ourhonor.org/donate. If you want to check out all of our really interesting recent FOIAs, you can by going to our FOIA rabbit hole in the link there in the chat.
Yes.
ourhonor.org/blognews/FOIA. And check out all of the interesting documents that we've gotten. At the bottom of it, you can join our FOIA signal chat. But in order to join, if you join, you have to either FOIA or you have to give $10 a week when you don't FOIA.
It's like a FOIA club. It's like Fight Club, except if it's you got a FOIA. You have to FOIA. You can't just go to Fight Club and not fight. You got to do a FOIA club. You got to FOIA.
And people are like, oh, okay, I'll start doing it next month. No, this literally, you're standing in line at the grocery store, like copy, paste, make a FOIA like on your phone.
Well, I want to show people how kind of fun it is too. Like I kind of really want to just look at just very quickly. I want to show people what I did today and yesterday. I just wrote to ChatGPT. My goal is to sow mistrust in the corporations who continue to perpetuate animal mistreatment. Since Thanksgiving is coming up, I would like to focus on turkeys. If you were going to dig up some dirt, what kind of FOIA request would you consider? That was my prompt for ChatGPT. It gave me a lot. It gave me a lot of ideas. So it went down. I'd already barked up OSHA for a while, so I didn't want to do that one. And so it gave me a lot of options of where to go, which was nice because
we know this year Butterball turkey is going to be one of the turkeys presented at the pardon. So like if we could dig up dirt on Butterball and dig up dirt on the head of the National Turkey Federation, who will be the main guy at the presidential turkey pardon, that would be great.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I started digging, and so this is just the first time, and then give me some quick steps that are actionable. And I said, well, I really want to get super focused. Let's do this. Let's turn up something very recent. Let's turn this into a laser beam, not a dragnet. And so I kind of just honed it down until I got to a practical target. But
that took a lot of time. By the time you were talking to ChatGPT, you could have had a really interesting FOIA drafted, because it just takes 5 minutes.
But you got to have an idea. You got to have an idea.
Well,
like
I don't know. Just reading the news gives me ideas. Like you read any news article, like you're like, oh, dairy, what's going on in the dairy industry? Oh, this, like, let's FOIA that.
Well, I mean, that'd be fun. Not everyone's thinking like you, and if you had those ideas, maybe that's what people need. If you put that, maybe we need to put that more into the FOIA thing too, because it'll give people ideas. Okay, I see this. Maybe that's what the ideation is something that, because then I wanted to get out and try to get at people who are well, first I knew I wanted to FOIA the president about the pardon. I just want to start it. I never FOIA'd the president before, so I knew I wanted to do that. But the other one was Carol Ehrlich. Oh, sorry, that was the other one. That was the president. How I want to do that. The other was Agriculture and Marketing Service. I wanted to have anything that between the USDA and the National Turkey Federation that references the National Thanksgiving Turkey presentation, because maybe they'll turn up something of interest if I get it. This seems pretty innocuous. I think the turkey pardoning thing, because it is, and it's funny because ChatGPT is like, well, that's great because it's clearly your money. It's American taxpayer money being used to market a corporation. That's what's happening there. Like, we're paying for that.
But the National Turkey Federation, the turkeys don't have any checkoff program with the USDA. So that's interesting. I don't know if the Agriculture Marketing Service would have anything about that. But
they must have something. I mean, they do. We spend a lot of money bailing out turkey farms for bird flu. So, I mean, there must be some kind of communication about. I don't know. I mean, I'm just digging and seeing what sticks. But I'd like to get more. I'm going to try to find out more as I go, and hopefully on the way up to Turkey Day, which I hate the fact that people call it that. But on the ways to Thanksgiving, in the next month, America will kill 40-something million turkeys just for Thanksgiving. Most of the turkeys killed in America are just for that one day. It's pretty astonishing. And I feel like we should be telling those stories of turkeys. So keep it out there. Yeah. I'll keep on FOIA. And I want to encourage everybody else to FOIA as much as you can about turkey stuff.
And we've killed 400,000 turkeys in the past couple of weeks because of bird flu. So that's huge. And it'd be great to have a team of people who could just draft FOIAs to those local ag departments and public health departments in those counties where turkeys were depopulated, so we could find out, are workers getting sick? How closely are these public health departments monitoring those workers who are depopulating those birds? And then, we FOIA'd a local public health department in Kern County and got a list of what dairies were infected with bird flu, which was a list that we had not been able to come by before. The dairies were very secretive and didn't want that information released, but we got it by FOIAing the public health department in the county. And so I think that's an important thing we should start focusing more on. So absolutely.
Yeah. That's FOIA Friday, I think. Thank you everyone for joining us for FOIA Friday. We'll be here next time on FOIA Friday at 4, where we'll talk about all the sorts of ways you can get involved in uncovering corruption and collusion in our government and our corporations that harm animals or sell animals. Crystal, where can they go to donate again for that donation?
OurHonor.org/donate or Venmo at Our Honor. It's really easy. I can put it in the chat real quick.
And 5 will get you 10, and 10 will get you 20. Matching donations to the end of the year up to $25,000. We're trying to raise money so we can keep our investigations going, keep this work up. Thanks everybody for joining. I'm Skyjack Morgan. That's Dr. Crystal Heath, DVM. Dr. Crystal Heath. You're not supposed to say Dr. Crystal Heath, DVM, though, right?
It's very immature when you say that. People just roll their eyes. It's like, oh, that's somebody who doesn't know, who's not very sophisticated.
I'm not a sophisticated person.
You just studied Shakespeare in college at UC Berkeley, but don't know anything.
I studied Shakespeare. I wasn't studying a DV. I studied philosophy and stuff and literature. Yeah. I don't have all these letters by my name and stuff. I don't know all the proper protocols. Anyway.
And yet you talk to, like, I sit in my apartment and spend days without talking to a single soul. And you are talking all the time. You'd think you'd acquire information, but yet.
Acquire information, that doesn't mean that I use it.
Yeah. I'm like always wondering, those extroverts must know so much more than me because they talk to so many people and I don't. I just like sit at home and I read. I just don't know. I'm not
No, but
wise in the world. I'm so naive and yet
one thing that we
sometimes.
learn though, one thing that extroverts learn though is not only first of all, you have to find humor in things. Like I'll say things incorrectly all the time just for fun. I do it all the time. I'll be like, what's that movie with they're furious people who are fast? What are those movies called? And it'll get people to respond Fast and Furious, and I'll be like, oh yeah, and it's a way to get people to talk.
You learn how to manipulate people.
It's not manipulation. It's to try to. It's like it ain't that hard when you got soul. You got to make other people feel good. You can't just make yourself feel good. If you're an extrovert like that, then you just become a narcissist. You're just trying to get everyone else to make you feel good, but you have to try to get other people to feel good, and that means playing dumb sometimes. I'm not saying I'm always playing dumb. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes I'm genuinely dumb. But in this case with the Dr. Crystal Heath DVM, that was just playing dumb. And and I enjoy it. Partly because I think it's funny, but partly because it gets you talking. Thanks everybody for joining. This is FOIA Friday at 4. Dr. Crystal Heath. Don't say the DVM part if you say the doctor, though. See you next Friday, everybody. And on Twitter, please leave a comment. People on Twitter, we have all these Twitter viewers and they never comment, but
Freedom of information.
it's all grok.